For capitalweather.com, I welcome you to our Sundays at 7 live chat every week. We do this for 20 minutes. We'll talk about the smoke this week, the temperatures this week, the humidity, and the storm chances, especially on Tuesday, is what we're watching. So let's make sure we go live now on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X. Pleased to see you. Again, I'm Camden Walker for capitalweather.com for the Capital Weather team. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly chat. Cavs and Lauren and 15 others are joining along with Alec and RLS. All right, so far, air quality is not a major concern this week. Smoke is staying under control in the near to medium term, but I will flag that it looks like we could see some smoke develop in Canada and head our way at the higher altitudes. So haze is not out of the question this week. Julia, hello. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. So while hazy, the good news is air quality should generally behave and stay, we think so far, in the moderate range for this upcoming week. Now let's look at temperatures. And we've got some warmth, mainly in the 80s. It could be a little cooler, near 80 potentially on Tuesday. And in the shorter term, one or two storms could pop tonight and to tomorrow. Maybe a heavy downpour, maybe a storm or two with some gusty winds. So it is a very, very marginal, ever so slight risk of seeing one or two strong to severe storms. It's Tuesday that we're mainly concerned about as we get a cold front, an area of lower pressure, even maybe some twin dual action low pressure systems are heading our way. So we should have moisture, instability, and lift all coming together. The ingredients are there for Tuesday, potentially seeing some strong severe storms. Currently, the Storm Prediction Center is saying slight chance for severe storms. The two main threats are for heavy downpours, producing some flooding, a marginal chance. And we've got, I think, winds. Yes, damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour is the secondary threat for Tuesday as well. So we'll have to watch for flooding and for wind potential. Again, just a slight chance, but it is elevated above what other chances, other issues that we're seeing in the atmosphere probably coming together on Tuesday. And it could be more than one round. Let me expand this radar image for you a little bit. This is from the American model. It's a forecast potential radar hypothetical for Tuesday. We could have one round of weaker storms in the morning that sets the stage for some moisture and instability, laying the groundwork for should we see afternoon sunshine that will take advantage of the background instability and moisture and lift that is nearby with the fronts moving through and the potentially two low pressure systems moving near us. So we need to be cautious. There could be more than one batch of storms. But so far, should we see sun, afternoon and evening time would currently, it looks like, be the best chances for strong to severe storms. Again, the two threats are flooding downpours as number one threat. And then the other problem might be for damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour. All right. Let me check your questions and comments. Let's check on let's see, here we go. Nope, that's let's show the temperatures. Let's show the chat comments. There we go. And I will show you the high altitude smoke potential this week, keeping us hazy. So let's animate while I check questions and comments from our 5 social media channels. The temperatures this week, generally in the 80s. The smoke in the near to medium term at the higher altitudes, keeping us fairly hazy at times this week, but air quality should behave. Let me check in on Dave. Good evening from Facebook. Ruth Elisa, hello on Facebook. Hope you're doing well. Ron, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. Ruth Elisa and Kenny, I hope we can get you some rain this week as well. So let's check that out. Since I do have rain this week pulled up for you, I think an inch, inch and a half is possible. Half of this, about half, may fall on Tuesday with the elevated storm chances, bringing us some rain and maybe downpours on Tuesday. The second half of this over the next 7 days might fall on Saturday. It looks like Saturday night, maybe early Sunday, we see another decent rain chance, a decent signal for this upcoming weekend. So stay tuned in case you have outdoor plans this upcoming weekend. We want to make sure the rain chances behave, even though we want to see you have outdoor plans, but also keep the drought situation under control, which is doing a little better around the Beltway and the I-81 corridor, a little bit But south and east of town, the Delmarva, east of town, and down toward Charlottesville, south of town, that's where we could still stand to send a little bit more rain. Good evening, David and Steve. Hello, and Culpeper. Humid evening cutting grass. Need good rains. I hope we can get you indeed some rain as we just showed you this week. And the humidity, just to warn you, is going to continue to go up this evening, overnight, and into tomorrow as well. The humidity rises even an extra notch on Tuesday, and that's part of the ingredients coming together for potential strong to severe storms on Tuesday. So we'll keep you posted on that. So we're staying tuned to capitalweather.com as we get closer. And let's look at this humidity because Steve brings up a good point. It's been a little bit behaved, a little bit un-July like, but it returns to July feelings tomorrow, July vibes with some 80s, near average high temperatures, maybe some upper 80s, maybe near 90, as we can see in this animation above. But maybe Tuesday's a little cooler, near 80, despite the severe storm chance, slight chance for Tuesday. Then maybe mid to late week, these dew points start behaving a little bit, and then maybe a resurgence in some moisture and humidity for Saturday and maybe Sunday as well, with a return to some rain chances by this weekend. So we'll keep you posted. Low confidence looking out that far, but just showing you some of the signal that's there. Again, rain this week, maybe an inch, inch and a half. Roughly half of this might fall on Tuesday, another half or so Saturday night into early Sunday. And temperatures in the kind of medium term are still leaning a little above average. So those who like summer weather, you are in luck. And we do have a slight signal for above average precipitation, which would be great to keep this drought in check, which is it's somewhat behaving around the Beltway, but we want to keep an eye on things. We still have a very decent deficit when you go back over a medium to long period of time. We just want to avoid any hydrological issues or agricultural issues as well. And we like to sometimes in these weekly chats touch on tropics, and they are behaving in the Atlantic Basin for the next 7 days, according to the National Hurricane Center. All right. Also, don't forget about our store. I want to make sure capitalweather.com/store is available to you, and advertise at capitalweather.com if you are interested in sponsoring these weekly Sundays at 7 live chats. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather team. We're at capitalweather.com anytime you need us. And we've got a bunch of latest updates for you on the blog this evening. So make sure you check out our latest. A great new picture I've put up there from Brian Paith. And I've updated you on the Tuesday storm chances that we're most focused on for this upcoming week. So a lot has been updated on the blog, but I appreciate seeing all of you for our 20-minute live chat every week at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Bo, hello, and G-Dub, and Claudia, and Amy, and Pack, and FT, and Linda, and Art, and Andrew, and A. Pitts, and Learn, and Nick. Good to see you, and Cindy as well. Making sure, let's see. Booth is hoping for no rain on the city open. Tuesday does look like our highest rain chances, so let's just reiterate that. We have higher rain chances on Tuesday and a slight chance for severe storms, probably leaning toward afternoon and evening hours on Tuesday, but we could see more than one round of rain on Tuesday, maybe one in the morning, one in the afternoon and evening. Stay tuned. Medium confidence forecast at best. All right. Yes. So David is also asking about the City Open. If you can, watch the Open mid to late week, that's when we have more comfortable temperatures with less humidity as well. So David Park, good to see you on Instagram. And Sam and Tesh and Mish and 1736, thanks so much for tuning in. Wednesday is hot because we have air drying out, a little bit of humidity trying to exit Ruth Elisa, and a slight wind vector that's perpendicular to the mountains, and that allows air to fall over the Appalachians and Blue Ridges and compress over the mountains. It comes to lower elevations in the Tidewater, Virginia, close to the Potomac River and DC. And when you have all that air falling and sinking, it compresses and warms when you squeeze gases together. So we start getting a little bit warmer potentially behind the warm front briefly for Wednesday potentially. All right. Hi, Camden. Good to see you, Lisa. Tomorrow's rain chance is slight, let's say 30-ish%, But there, of that 30%, there is an ever slight chance for a very heavy downpour or one storm with a damaging wind gust over 57 miles per hour. We're mainly focused on the Tuesday chances for severe storms, which is still slight, Lisa, but we're generally focused on that. Here's the setup for Tuesday. We've got plenty of moisture around, a front barreling toward us, an area of low pressure, maybe even two surface low pressures. We've got plenty of instability, lift, and moisture coming together. Do we see enough sunshine during the afternoon on Tuesday to really have the ingredients, come together and bake into, if you will, bake and bubble up into some strong severe storms? Remains to be seen. A medium confidence forecast at best. Liz, good to see you. David's loving the rain. And let's see, Megan, talking about the severe risk on Tuesday. So far, it's just a damaging wind gusts, straight line winds, non tornadic as it stands now, and also the chance for a couple flooding downpours as well. I think I have that here. You go. Yeah. So flooding downpours are possible as well, according to the Weather Prediction Center. It's a marginal chance. So I should probably rank damaging wind gusts from just straight line winds as the number one threat. And the secondary threat is flooding downpours on Tuesday, a marginal chance. Kenny's asking about the drought. Good to see you on Facebook. Doing a little bit better around the DC area and maybe out near you, Kenny. It's better than down near Charlottesville and the Delmarva Peninsula as well. So we need to keep the rain coming. We do have a little bit more coming toward us this week, an inch and a half. Roughly half will fall on Tuesday night, which is what we're talking about with the elevated chance, the slight chance for a few strong severe storms Tuesday. And then the next half of this 7-day rain forecast might wait until Saturday night, maybe early Sunday. So this is decent news. And in the medium term, temperatures are still leaning above average, and an ever so slight signal for above average precipitation in the medium term as we look into next week as well. All right, so we've got this temperature slideshow I've been showing you. Let's talk about smoke and air quality really quick. Not a major concern this week, luckily, but I will caution you at the higher altitudes in the atmosphere, we could see some serious puffs of smoke move through, of wildfire smoke coming from Canada. So do expect some periodic haze, maybe making some orange or other color brilliant sunrises and sunsets, which can be fun for photography. As long as this smoke does stay above the surface, which is currently forecast to, but let's keep an eye on things this week. The surface smoke above is what I'm animating above me here. And you'll smell it at times. So you can still smell a little bit of smoke at the surface where the air quality is still moderate, still okay. Not great, but okay. So that's some good news I wanted to offer you for this week as well. But again, expect some haze at times with high altitude smoke moving through. Uh, David, I think the drought will try and behave. I don't know if we'll get a full break by the fall. But that's a great question. Thanks for tuning in, David, on Facebook. And Liz, and have I caught up on Megan and Ruth Lisa? Excellent. All right. Uh, Ada, good to see you on, and Meredith on Instagram, and Austin, and Chip, Sue, and Lisa, and Jay, and ACG, and Amy Lee, and Jess Hale, and Eric, and Lindsay, and Meg Walsh, and Fitness with Jackie, and Christopher, and Harland, making sure I have not missed any of your questions or comments that are organized a little bit less ideally on Instagram. There's Charlene. Daniel, good to see you again from Glenville, Pennsylvania. Thanks for tuning in over on Instagram. Sometimes I see you on Facebook, but it's great to see you on Instagram. Thanks, Charlene. All right. Think I've caught up on all your questions and comments. Remember, we're live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, and Facebook. You can find us on Capital Weather, at Capital Weather, and all 5 of our social media platforms. Our app is also available on Apple and Android. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather team. We're doing Sundays at 7, our weekly live chat from capitalweather.com. So thanks so much for tuning in for these weekly 20-minute chats on Sundays at 7 p.m. So far, we are seeing no major temperature signal, John, for this summer being milder than others. But we will keep you posted. I know Ian Livingston likes to track that. Make sure you check before, if you're not a paid member, we are putting up, we're going to make it's a premium feature we've been talking about for a couple of months, the Forecast Lab, the Weather Now, Climate Room. Check all those out. I think Ian Livingston has made a widget to answer part of that question about how temperatures are tracking. We've had a lot of 100-degree days. We're tracking, I think, fairly normal for our 90 count of days where we're 90 degrees or hotter. Yeah, I think it's too soon to make any conclusions about how the summer looks in the rearview mirror. Let's get through August 1st through the end of meteorological summer. But great question, John. In terms of humidity, I think we have been within a normal-ish range. We've had definitely some mugginess, but I have not seen a record high dew point. We've had a lot of precipitable water, but not a record high dew point this year. So I love that John is on that. Thanks for tuning in, John from X. So let's see. Let me show the temperatures now here at the top so that we can watch how the temperatures behave this week. A lot of 80s, but I want to go back to John's question and show you dew points this upcoming week, which it's gonna be more humid starting tonight into tomorrow. The dew points do get back towards 70 potentially in some spots, and with our slight severe storm chance on Tuesday, I think that could be our most humid day of this week. Even if luckily temperatures might behave, maybe near 80 in some of the coolest, cloudiest spots, and clouds would help us limit our severe storm risk on Tuesday. But in terms of humidity, to angle toward John's question, dew points do come down the middle and later part of this week. So please enjoy another little surge of comfort. Not quite feeling like July as much again. So, July, I will say July has definitely had some surges, but it's kind of behaving a little bit in the temperature and humidity department. The long duration heat waves so far, we've kind of, we've had some extreme heat watches and warnings, but I would say it could be a little worse. It could be a little worse in my personal opinion. All right. Sharon, I don't think it's I don't think it's possible to write off severe storm chances through August. I think the pattern could continue where we get these surges of moisture and humidity and higher dew points as measured by higher dew points. The precipitable water, the availability of water in the atmosphere to turn into rain, that kind of storm fuel, one of the aspects of storm fuel and the flooding downpour potential, it's in the atmosphere fairly notably this summer. So, Sharon from Facebook, thanks for tuning in. I don't think we can write off severe storm chances anytime soon just yet. Oh, David, thanks for getting our app on Apple or Android. Appreciate you giving us feedback on that. The app is awesome. Thank you so very much. John, you're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in on X. Oh, Liz, another compliment for the app. That's very kind. I'm so happy that it's doing well. I've been very pleased with it as well. Paul, let's see, you're heading up toward northeastern Pennsylvania next Friday. I think that drive will be okay, but please stay tuned. There are a few moving pieces as we get closer. If you're at the end of day Friday towards Saturday, let's make sure the rain timing does hold off for you. All right, let's see. I've caught up on all your questions and comments there. And Shard, good to see you, and I'm glad to see you as well on Instagram. Thank you so very much. Sally, good to see you. Hex and Christy and Daniel and Buzz and Bridget and Kadard and Lisa. I'm so happy you like the app, Lisa, as well. Excellent. And mostly, madly good to see you on Instagram as well. All right, the last couple minutes here. I am Camden Walker for the Capital Weather team. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly Sundays at 7. We're live on capitalweather.com and our 5 social media channels. You can follow us at Capital Weather on all of these, and our app is available on Apple and Android. I'm Camden Walker. Our Sunday 7 p.m. live chat, our 20 minutes is almost up, but let's go through things one more time. An animation above of the temperatures this week, focusing you on the 80s as the dominant regime of temperatures. Maybe near 90 tomorrow, maybe closer to only 80 on Tuesday, where we do have some humidity that is surging back into the region, though it feels hopefully a little more comfortable by late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as dew points recede again toward more tolerable 60-degree readings, maybe rather than 70-degree readings. Rain this week, we might see some inch and a half, kind of two focus points. One is Tuesday rain potential. The other half of this 7-day rain amount might fall on Saturday into maybe Sunday. So we'll need to keep you posted on that, but we need it. The drought is still around, especially in the Delmarva and south of town toward Charlottesville, so we'll not say no to rain. And in the medium term, temperatures still leaning above average. So summer is not exiting as it looks now anytime soon. And precipitation over the medium term into next week, slight lean toward above average temperatures. Tropics are quiet. Just to quickly cover that, I know that's a fun traditional thing we cover on these weekly chats. Air quality this week, because have been looking at smoke near the ground recently, should behave itself. You might still smell it at times, but overall, currently with medium confidence, forecast confidence on air quality, we should stay in the moderate range this week. But I will caution you that higher altitude, high level smoke is still going to potentially stream into the region from Canadian wildfires. So we could still see some haze at times, some extra colorful or brilliant sunrises and sunsets, but hopefully it does not affect air quality as it looks now. All right, let's check really quick on a ever minuscule slight chance for tomorrow. One or two storms could have a heavy downpour or a damaging wind gust over 57 miles per hour. We're mainly focused on Tuesday because here's the setup: moisture, instability, lift, all coming together. Do we see, with a cold front and low pressure systems and plenty of humidity and moisture in the air, do we see this slight chance of severe weather come together? And actually, if you have the ingredients, does it actually bubble up into storms? And do we bake the cake, if you will, for severe storms on Tuesday? I think the slight threat, the very marginal threat for flooding downpours is there. We have plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. We could see more than one round, maybe a weaker storms in the morning, then stronger storms in the afternoon or evening. But we might not see enough sunshine. We'll see. But that is what we're looking at. If we see enough sunshine Tuesday afternoon into early evening, maybe a few damaging wind gusts over 57 miles per hour. But this is not a high confidence forecast. We're not pulling the alarm bells. It's just something to keep an eye on as the ingredients come together and are sitting over our region on Tuesday. So we'll just keep that in mind and hope you tune back into us as we get closer to Tuesday. Maybe check in one more time tomorrow at capitalweather.com and we will give you the latest. Prime time, thanks for tuning in on Instagram, KG. Leslie, good to see you. Khan, Jen, DeChex, science teacher, you're most welcome. And Corwin, and Keg, and Gravy, and Michael, and Chris. All right. And we've got Paul. Yes, Alice and Paul, our apps are available on Apple and Android. Search Capital Weather. We're also on all 5 of our social media channels at Capital Weather. And Dave, you're most welcome. And Ruth Elisa, really good seeing you on Facebook as well. And I appreciate all of you. Let me know if there's any issues with this chat, but we should be, once it's live, it should be posted to our in a video that you can watch later on all 5 of our social media channels and at capitalweather.com for free, not behind our paywall. All right. I will see you next Sunday. I'm Camden Walker.